President Trump just gave his update on the war in Iran, and it was interesting to say the least. Let's go over it and let's talk about exactly what happened. He started off by thanking the astronauts who just went up into outer space on the Artemis 2 mission, and he congratulated them on that mission and wished them well and wished them safe, and that was the start of it. And he immediately got into speaking about what tonight's address was about, or supposed to be about, and that was about the war in Iran. And he pretty much did exactly what I would expect President Trump to do, and that is to make everything seem to be okay. Everything is going fine. Iran has been absolutely decimated. We've set them back decades. We've destroyed their navy. We've destroyed their weapon systems, their missile systems. They no longer have any capability to create any nuclear bombs. They're no longer going to be a threat to any of the surrounding nations, especially Israel. They're in the Middle East. We've pretty much done what we need to do to take care of them. With that being said, he did say that there are going to be several more weeks of bombing, and this campaign, or this war, whatever you want to call it, should be winding down here soon. So, according to President Trump, we are going to start winding down. This Iranian war is coming to a close here soon. He called on allies to start buying U.S. oil, or either go in there and take the oil themselves, to muster some courage to go in there and do what they need to do to secure the oil on their own. It sounds like he's pretty much saying that you've gotten all of the help that you're going to get out of us, so the rest is up to you. Put on your big boy pants. You can go and do it on your own. It sounds like President Trump is trying to find an off-ramp. If you follow this channel, you know we've talked about this before. If you follow the news at all, you know that they've spoken about this before, that behind closed doors, President Trump is looking for an off-ramp. He feels like he's done what he needed to do. There's some sirens going off in the background. Not sure if you can hear those, but we're going to just keep on going. But he was looking for an off-ramp. He feels that he's done what he's needed to do. The United States has done what they've needed to do. He did thank the fallen soldiers for their sacrifice. He did mention them, which is good. But one thing that I wanted to mention about this speech is the sentiment of his message is a little bit different than the Prime Minister of the UK, who also gave an address earlier today. Now, the Prime Minister, Starmer from the UK, gave somewhat of a different style of an address, a little bit different sentiment. He pretty much made it sound as if things might be getting a little hotter here in the near future, and for the UK to brace for somewhat of an economic crisis. So not sure if he knows something that we don't know, or that we're not being told. Like I said, I expected President Trump to try to make everything sound like it's going great and going perfect. That's his personality. That's how he is. More information will come out after this address, and then we'll kind of get to see what the in-between is. He says everything is going great, but you know, Iran has thus far been disagreeing to all negotiations and all talks unless they get what they want. They pretty much want the United States completely out of the Middle East. They want to be paid. They want reparations for all the damages done to their country. And they want assurance that there will be no further conflicts or no more aggression towards the Iranian nation in the future. Not sure if they're going to get all of that, and not sure how these negotiations are going to play out. But President Trump did say if negotiations aren't met, the United States is going to keep bombing them into the Stone Ages. So that kind of gives a little bit of an indication into where the mindset is strategically. If President Trump doesn't get what he wants, he's willing to go ahead and continue the campaign and keep bombing. He didn't say anything about boots on the ground, but it does appear that he's trying to find an off-ramp and try to close this thing down. Now, that's a good thing. He didn't say anything about boots on the ground. There was some speculation that he was going to mention boots on the ground, and he did not mention that. So that's a good thing. Not sure if he didn't mention it because it's not going to happen, or he didn't mention it because he didn't want to give up what the United States is going to do strategically. Now, what the American people are hoping for is that there's a resolution, de-escalation, and this whole thing comes to an end. We do not want boots on the ground. We do not want any more fallen soldiers. We do not want any more men and women losing their lives overseas for this conflict. Do we want Iranians to have nuclear bombs and threaten the American people and other countries within their region? No, we don't want that either, but we also don't want any Americans losing their lives in this war. You know, it's kind of catch-22, you know. We're in the middle of having to make a decision on what's best for all of the nations going forward and the world. Hopefully there's a resolution and we can get down to the bottom of whatever this whole thing is about. We know that Israel is looking to expand. Israel wants to make sure that they're safe over there in the Middle East. They're wanting to potentially be a superpower over there. And we're also wanting to make sure that the United States and allies aren't in any danger. And Iran is not capable of doing anything to put any of the other nations in danger. So we're trying to do what we can to stop that. We'll see what happens. We'll see how this thing is going to play out. As of right now, what it looks like is we've got a few more weeks of this to come. So, buckle up. I'm pretty sure that the information is going to change day to day. We're going to get ups and downs, lows and highs. Oil is going to fluctuate. Oil is going to go up. It's going to go down. Right now, last time I checked, it's sitting around about $100 a barrel, maybe just over $100 a barrel. It peaked at around $104 a barrel within the last couple of days or whatnot. Stock market has been going up and down depending on news releases. Iran is saying that they're still not willing to negotiate. So we're still all over the place. It's pretty much up and down each day. We'll follow it. We'll continue to track it and see what's going on and continue from there. Until then, stay safe.